What's up YouTube? It's your buddy MadFox13, and today we are going to be changing the oil on the Ninja 300. And also too and stuff, what I'm going to tell you in this video, you can, even if you don't have a Ninja 300, you can still, this still applies to other bikes too, but mostly what I'm going to be showing you today and stuff is how to change your oil in your Ninja 300. But this, before we get started, what I'm going to tell you and stuff, this is the thing about it. When you buy a new bike, okay, here you'll already have oil in the bike and everything. You won't have to worry about a brand new bike off the showroom floor, because if someone does something like that doesn't do the oil right, which newer bikes, they are going to put the oil in there. But for used bikes, okay, let's say for instance, you bought a used bike either from Craigslist, eBay, or even from a used dealership, or even from a used lot, like how some of these car lots do. Some of them sells motorcycles too. Yeah, I'm surprised a little bit, but when you buy a used motorcycle, definitely one of the things you want to do is get that oil that they put in there, or the oil that's in the bike, out of there. Because for instance, okay, they can they'll probably tell you, oh, they changed oil, they done the oil change themselves, or they probably won't tell you. They'll probably give you they won't tell you at all. But this is the thing about it, you should always replace the oil if you purchase something used, whether it be a motorcycle, a car, a truck. Don't always take the person's word that you're buying the vehicle from, because they can say that they changed oil and they may have not. Some people will be honest and stuff, but I always recommend stuff. Do the oil change. But also too, even if they say that they took it to a place to get it changed, still change the oil. You never know if that place that they took it to, if they actually changed it, if they put the right oil into it, or but let's just and it's easy to change the oil. I don't get why some people will go and take their bike to a shop to get the oil changed, which there's a lot of good shops out there and there's a lot of bad shops out there, but changing the oil should be your job. I get and stuff, if you don't have the equipment or anything like that, or it don't take a whole lot of things to change the oil, which right here, all you need is just some of these things right here, which, and also too, and oil filter wrench to take the oil filter off. But this is the thing about it, like I said, it's an easy task to do it yourself. If you don't know anything about motorcycles, or if you just want someone to do the work for you, then hey, it's what you want to do. But if you actually want to start doing your own stuff instead of having everybody else do it for you, that's the reason why I like doing my own work on my bike. I like doing my own oil change. I like doing everything myself, because, yeah, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do trust people and stuff to work work on things, like, for instance, my tires. But let's not get into that. Let's get into getting the oil changed. So you can some videos I've seen here on YouTube, they'll just do the oil change just like how it is right here, not on a stand, just on the kickstand. Which this is the thing about it, why I don't really like doing that, is because, for one, the oil, you're gonna have to hold the bike while the oil and stuff is coming out. And also too, this is the thing about it, you want that thing to be actually up straight, not onto the kickstand, because then you'll either put too much into it and you'll have to drain it out, which, that's the reason why, last oil change I did, I used my actual lift stand. But also too, today we're going to be not just only using the lift stand, we're going to be using the Venom chalk stand. Yeah. I mean, I tried to fix it the best I could and stuff to get these two deals and stuff to where I could actually, I bended them a little bit to make it to where it would try to work the best I can, but let's get this thing up on the stand. Okay. Let's see. That's what, that's what I like about the actual block stand, because you can actually, you don't have to hold the bike, which, I always recommend, always hold the bike so if something happens and stuff. I mean, if it starts tipping or anything, always just hold on to it. So, let's get this thing up on the stand. There we go. And, okay, now, what you want to do is, you want to get the little deals off, which, usually you use an Allen key, but I use this instead. This little multi-deal, because, you never, let's see, which one is this? Well, I think it's too big. Yep. Let's see about this one. It's been a while since I took my fairings off, so you'll have that bolt right there for an Allen key, right there, and right there. See, next size. Like I said, I haven't took my fairings off in a long time. It's been actually, practically back in December when, well, I think it was December, I can't remember. And, when you're taking these bolts off and whenever you're putting the fairings back on, if you watch my fairing removing video, like I said in that video, take your time taking all this off. Do not rush. You don't have to be in a hurry to get all this off. Because, if you rush things, you'll strip the screws or you'll do something and mess things up. Now, okay. Now you're going to take a flathead screwdriver. And this right here, if you see it, I'm wearing my actual headband mount for my camera because I like using that so I can use both my hands. You see right here, take a little screwdriver, take a flathead screwdriver and just pop that thing out. And if it doesn't want to pop out, sometimes the tabs will try to stick. Oh man. So Okay. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to my toolbox. Where? Ah, nope, broke. Aha. Okay, so if that one doesn't want to come out, there's another one that's right under here too. Okay, folks, we're gonna stop the video right here and we'll be right back so we can get these tabs off so we don't tip nothing over or break anything. So okay, now after you get those off, you know, make sure to always be safe and stuff when you're taking things off, because you never know if something will pop loose and break, and you never know and stuff if the bike will, even if you have it onto a stand, when you're taking this off, you could tip the bike over. And this is the actual, that was the hardest part to get out, and this right here. Those, you know, you have to remove those to actually get to this. So what we want to do now is also too, you know, okay, so this little bolt right here is your drain bolt. So set that to the side, and now take the bolts that you took off and place them in the holes. Oh man. So, okay, now for taking the drain bolt off, well, first thing you want to do whenever you're changing, whenever you're doing your oil change, make sure you got a pan to put the oil in. Now take it, put it under there. Now you can use different types of things. You can use an ordinary wrench, you can use one of these type of wrenches, but what I prefer to use instead is an actual socket wrench. Now for the oil drain bolt, you know, if you don't have the correct size of socket for the wrench, you know, you can always get one of these and it'll fit and do, but I don't need that because I have the correct size. So what you want to do, get my sleeves up on my jacket first. Get that, and Okay. Now try to actually keep that crush washer on there. Actually also too, just a little heads up, before anything too, before you fully pull that thing loose, take right where you're going to put your oil in, unscrew this, because it gives it a better flow. You know, you don't have to do this, but you know, it's what I do when I'm draining the oil on anything, because it gives it a better flow. So get all that old oil out. So let that start draining. Now, you know, just let that start getting all out of your bike. Let that old oil just get out of there. You know, do not mess with the bike and stuff until it's fully all done draining, which drain your oil first from the actual drain bolt before messing with the oil filter. If you mess with the filter, let's just say you're gonna have a big lot of mess. So let's let that all drain. Hey, done like a little cool little design stuff in there. But you know, just let that all get out, let that all drain so it can just I mean, it'll still keep on leaking out and stuff, you know, just like I said, let it all drain out, let it all get out of there before you go and take off the oil filter. And you know, the reason why I say and stuff to use a stand or even, you know, a wheel chock is because you want the bike to be upright, because got oil all over my garage floor. Right here is right where your oil gauge is, and as you can see, there's still a little bit of oil left in there. Now, you know, I don't want to have this take all day and stuff, so we're going to stop the video right here and we'll continue and stuff right back after this gets all drained. Alright, now after you got all the oil all drained out of your bike, you know, there's no more oil left, go and, you know, I'm going to show you right where oil filter is. This little thing, it's right here. I don't know if you can see that good, which it's right here actually. That is your oil filter, which, you know, some people use regular Kawasaki oil filters, and some uses actual K&N filters. I'm one of the type that uses a K&N filter, and this is the reason why, because let's go over here and open up the K&N oil filter for the Kawasaki Ninja 300 is the K&N 303, which this is the black version. If you see one that's got a a C at the end of the 303, that means Chrome. That's I have the Chrome version on this bike right here. But the reason why I prefer the actual K&N oil filters over the regular or any other oil filters is because of this. Okay, the you can use a socket wrench, a wrench, or you can just, it's easier to take it off instead of having to use a actual oil filter wrench, which there's 3 different types of oil filter wrenches. There's this one right here that's actual, like a wrench, but in oil filter shape. You go and those teeth lock into it and you turn. Then you have these ones that's like a metal band. You tighten it and you can do it that way. But the third one is like the style that you put on top of the oil filter and you turn it and it locks, and it's kind of like one of these right here. But it's better to actually get a K&N oil filter because you don't have to worry about having to have an oil filter wrench or anything. So we're gonna go and we're gonna move this up right here. Make sure before you move anything, get all that cleaned up right there, get a rag. And some people try to say, replace the crush washer. I mean, the only way I would replace the crush washer if it was really damaged or something was messed up, but since even my last oil change, the crush washer looks perfectly fine, and I don't have to worry about it. So sometimes this crush washer can be difficult to put it back on. Hand tighten it first to begin with, or just use the extender that's on your deal. Okay, now something that some people will tell you and stuff, use a torque wrench. But this is the thing about it, if you don't have a torque wrench to tighten one of these, which I had one, but somehow, I'm not going to say who, but someone's lost my torque wrench, and it wasn't me. So you can use a regular just wrench, but just do not try to over tighten it too much. You can use a socket wrench or anything, and you can just don't over tighten it way too much, which let's give it a good little. But like I said, people will recommend you use a torque wrench, which, like I said, mine is gone and missing, so I've been meaning to buy another one, but okay, I got that loose. As you can see, oil's still coming out of there. This is what the chrome one looks like. Now, to some people out there, you know, some of them will try a little trick that, you know, they'll tell you this one way to how to take an oil filter off. They'll try to say jab a screwdriver through it or drill a hole. Don't do that. You know, you can get hurt badly doing that. And also too, you know, if you go and you drill a hole through it, there's oil in here. I mean, all it takes is one little spark and stuff, and then things catch on fire. But all that, usually I have something to put down here while I'm doing an oil change, but so let that all drain out. All that oil still left over in there. Which, you know, I would recommend if you do this once you take before you take the filter off, you know, get some tinfoil to put over this right here. But you know, I'm out of tinfoil right now to use in the garage, and yeah, I'm not going to use the tinfoil that's in the kitchen because that's for food. You know, usually I keep some stuff here in the garage for whenever I'm doing an oil change, but I'm not going to use the kitchen one because it's, like I said, that's for food, and I'm not going to do that. I don't like taking things out of the kitchen and using it in the garage. So just keep that from. So okay, looks like the oil's getting all drained out, so okay, now after you got all that done, you know, you got your oil all out, your oil filter off, you know, like I said, I used the K&N. Here it is again, the oil filter I use. I bought the black version instead because supposedly you got to order the chrome version, which that's what I done last time, and I did not want to wait and stuff because you know, I just wanted to get the oil change done today, and I wanted to actually, you know, get this YouTube video made because I should have made it when the first time I done this, but I didn't. So, you know, some people, like I said, will tell you to use Kawasaki oil filters, and sometimes they'll tell you to use Kawasaki oil. Now, this is the thing about it. That's what they put into it whenever you first buy the bike and stuff. I mean, whenever you do your first oil change, yeah, probably, and stuff with the bike, you got to break it in and everything, and you do an oil change, yeah. For the first oil change, yeah, you can do that, but this is the thing about it, you know, if it's your second or third oil change or so on, you know, you don't have to stick with that. I mean, it's okay if you want to stick with something like that, but you don't have to. So what I used last time, and I even used Castor Oil, is a good brand. You know, I like it. Always, you know, there's all kinds of good oils out there for motorcycles. I will say this to people that make this mistake, or that, you know, try to want to save a whole lot of money or anything like that. You know, don't go too cheap with your oil. You know, don't go and get a off brand or anything like that, or a brand that, you know, if it's on sale and stuff, like, oh, it's only $1, don't get it. Because, you know, you don't know about that oil. You know, like, for instance, Dollar General, they have their own oil. And this is some mistakes that some people make, and definitely do never do this. Don't ever think that you can use vehicle oil, like for trucks and cars, on a motorcycle. You know, everything has Oil is oil is made different for different products. These right here, it's made for motorcycles. And also too, if you do not know which oil goes into your motorcycle, look it up, and if you got a manual and stuff, look it up in your manual. What type of oil goes in your bike? Which is the what do you actually need? But also too, like I said, if you have a actual deal and stuff to where you can actually look it up, a manual, especially a service manual. But let's say your bike didn't come with one of those. Let's say the people that you bought the bike off of, they got rid of it or threw it away. There's Google. You can look it up on Google. You can even look it up on, you can purchase service manuals onto Amazon. And sometimes Walmart has service manuals and stuff that you can purchase online, but also too, there's apps out there and stuff that you can get on your phone that is like the phone version of the manual, which, I have both of those. I have the phone one, and I have the regular manual that the person that I bought my motorcycle off of. But, like I said, I don't use the Kawasaki brand oil, and I don't use the Kawasaki brand oil filter. Because like I said, it's better to have something like this so you don't have to go and do a whole entire lot of things on. So, now let's actually get to putting the filter on. So, let's see. What was it and stuff? I hate when I get like this sometimes. So, oh, there's my screwdriver. Okay. Take your oil, open it up. Now, just give it a little jab right there. So get this all loosened up and everything. And keep your oil drain pan up under there, so just in case. But I'm going to show you a little trick, because you have to lube the ring. Some people try to tell you, oh, you don't have to do that. Okay, but a bunch of people that I know that's done oil changes, not only on motorcycles, but on vehicles, cars, they've always told me, always lube the oil filter, the ring of it. Okay. And, don't go and do like some people and stuff and dip your finger in the used oil and stuff to lube it, because there's all kinds of stuff that's in that oil right there that you just took out. So that's why we're going to use this oil right here. So some people does this, some people don't. It's kind of like, I don't know how you say it and stuff, but it gets kind of like the bubbles out a little bit. Just add just a little bit. And now, just take a little bit, get it on your finger. Some people will tell you to wear gloves, which I've always done oil changes on things, and I have never wore gloves. So, what you want to do is get that back on there. hand tighten this right here. Ouch. Oh. Hand's a little bit slippery from. Just hand tighten your oil filter. Don't go and try to so now that that's on there and it's good and tight, just make sure it's always good and hand tight. Some people will tell you and stuff, you know, oh, use the oil filter wrench. No, don't ever do that. Don't use the oil filter wrench, because you don't want to over tighten that thing. You know, if it messes up and you mess the thread up, just like the drain bolt. Like I said, you should use a torque wrench whenever you do that, but I didn't have a torque wrench, so. Use a, you know what, let's take this thing off of the stand, but let's leave it on the block stand while we're putting oil in. You know, do this slowly. You know, don't rush things, because you don't want to hurry and you just don't want to rush it all, because if you rush it all, then things mess up, things happen, and you do not want that. So okay. Oh, man. Forgot how long this takes sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes this thing wants to get stuck in the... You know, sometimes people won't use a funnel, but I always recommend using a funnel when changing your oil. Alright, so now what we want to do is, yeah, we got this third thing of oil, but always make sure that you don't overfill it. So, where's the keys to my bike? Let's crank this up. Okay, so still need to add a little more in. Like I said, you don't want to overfill it, but you want to make sure that you actually put enough in. And I kind of hate this thing a little bit because I probably just overfilled it, but okay, let's try it now. Okay, and that's how you do your oil change on your bike, which, you know, we still got a little tiny bit of oil left, but you know. And, you know, I'm going to say this about some things, especially about motorcycles and vehicles. You know, when you take them to an actual shop, they'll try to tell you that, you know, you need to you know, do it by the, you know, change your oil by the miles or by a date, which some people and stuff at car places or even some shops, you know, they do it by, you know, a couple of, you know, 2 or 3 or a couple months. But, you know, when it comes from me for oil changes, not only just for my bike, but for my other vehicles, you know, I do it by either the mileage or by the day that I actually replaced the oil, because I've never known oil to ever go bad after about at least 2 to 3 to 4 months. I have never had nothing ever go bad, which, you know, and like I said and stuff, you know, don't do like your buddy Mad Fox done and get a little bit of oil all over the floor, which, you know, I have to clean this garage again. So, after all that and stuff, until next time, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so whenever your buddy Mad Fox 13 uploads a new video, you know, you'll be the first ones to know about it and to be able to see it. But, as always, sayonara.